Hi, buddy. Welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor, and today we're going to be doing another coaching session. So thank you very much to Jenny for the generous donation. I really appreciate it. And this is going to be a Rakan game. I'm not sure the rank. I didn't look up the rank on this, but it should be a good quality game. So let's go ahead and get in here. Now, I've done a lot of Rakan on the channel, so be sure to check out streams if you want to know more about my take on Rakan. I also have a Season 8 Rakan guide on the main channel. I'll go ahead and link that in the description for you once this is published. And yeah, so there's just Rakan everywhere. I also talk about him a lot in my most recent tier list video, and I will talk about him even more in my 8.2 tier list video when that comes out, when they do all the Sightstone changes and stuff like that. So a lot of stuff's going to change there, so be sure to stay tuned for that. If you want to access this Google Doc, you can find it in the description. If you just want to skip straight to when the game starts or when the game ends, if you just want to hear like the TLDR, what are the best things that she could have improved on over the course of the game, I will have timestamps in the description as well. Let's go ahead and get in here, though. So you want to aim for one control ward on average every 5 minutes. I don't know how long the game is, but if the game on average is 25 minutes, for example, you should try to aim for about 5 control wards. That's a very rough rule of thumb, but just in general, whenever you back, if you just happen to have 75 extra gold or even 150, just get a control ward or two. Not sure if you're running Zombie Ward or not. I highly recommend you run Zombie Ward. If you do run Zombie Ward, you should have 2 wards per minute on average, so 25-minute game should be 50 wards. If you don't have Zombie Ward, then it should be about 25 wards after 25 minutes. I recommend the following runes: Guardian, Fawn of Life, Conditioning, Revitalize, Zombie Ward, and Genius. I talk about these a lot on the guide. I'm sure you've heard me talk about them a lot on the channel. Jenny's always keeping the chat lively, friendly, and fun. But yeah, they are nerfing Guardian on the next patch probably, but I still think it's going to be the best. We'll see. I'll have to check it out, but as of right now in 8.1, definitely go with Guardian. That shield's just really useful, and the move speed as well is very useful whenever you go in there to tag people and make sure that you get out. So Guardian is just the best way to go. Aftershock is okay, but the problem is you don't stick around to get the damage portion of Aftershock a lot of the time. You usually want to jump out before you get that shockwave. They are changing Aftershock next patch so that it gives you a much bigger burst of tankiness and a lot less damage. So maybe that's worth it, because you would be really tanky when you engage. But once again, because you want to jump back out, you know, it's unlikely you should be taking that many hits. So it's nice, but I think Guardian will be good. I mean, the big one here is Guardian helps someone else and you, and Aftershock only helps you. So that's kind of one of the big reasons why Guardian's so useful. Font of Life, very good if you want to go Ardent Sensor. I think you do want to go Ardent because you have a Master Yi and a Xayah in the game, and both of them, you know, really like attack speed, really like on-hit damage. So the way that works is whenever you tag somebody with a crowd control, then they get that little debuff over their head, the little leaf, and then all of their auto attacks heal them, which is nice, and it is quite a bit of healing. I talk about that in the Rakan guide, but it also, each time that heals, that's going to trigger Ardent Sensor, just like that old Mastery, I don't remember what it was called last season, but that Mastery interaction with Ardent Sensor that I had to explain like every stream. It's the same way with Fawn of Life. The healing from this thing actually counts as healing from you, which triggers Ardent Sensor. Okay, and then Conditioning, just pretty good. Scaling Rune later on into the game, and Revitalize is excellent. I've talked about this in detail as well. The extra plus 10% healing when someone's below 40% health stacks multiplicatively with plus healing and shielding, so it's even better than it looks like. So that's really, really nice later on. That applies to your own healing on yourself. I don't think it applies to your passive regen or like your health potions and things like that, the 10%. But it is really nice for later. You're against a Malphite in this lane, so you shouldn't be getting harassed a lot early, so second wind shouldn't really be too much of an issue. I mean, if you're against something like a Zyra, Caitlyn, then maybe second wind would be something that you'd want there, just to help you out early on. But Revitalize is the better scaling of the two options. And then Zombie Ward plus Ingenious, fantastic combo. It's like peanut butter and jelly. You sweep all the wards away with your Ingenious Hunter Sweeper, especially after you get Ruby Sightstone really late game. And then that creates a lot of vision for zombie wards and allows you to make more plays. And then Ingenious, of course, with Ruby has great synergy with items like Redemption Banner, Zeke's to a lesser extent, but Locket, if you decide to get Locket, there are a lot of interactions, Mikhail's, that a Genius is very good with. Build order for this game is a little different than what I would typically recommend, and we'll see why when we get in there, but they have all AD and a Malphite support, so I think that going Tabi is really wise here. Usually if they have 4 AD, you have to go Tabi no matter what on like every champion. Pretty much. It's too good. It's too great of a value. It's already a really good boot, but if almost literally all of their damage is AD, it's extremely powerful. So I think you have to go Tabi here. Oasis is pretty standard. I still like Redemption early. It just gives you that semi-global map presence, which is very nice. Allows you to influence mid lane or jungle fights. Just excellent. It gives you the mana regen that you want early on in the game, so that's good. I think Banner of Command's actually pretty good here. They're going to have potentially a 1-3-1 split push with Tryndamere and Fiora, so having a banner to slow that down a bit is nice, and once again, this has 60 armor on it. So I do think that armor is very, very good here against their team, so if you don't want to go that, then you could bump up Ardent a little bit faster if your team's doing really well. Like if he's like 4-0 after you finish Redemption or something, you might want to go ahead and bump up and grab the Ardent. This is going to make you a little bit squishier, but they don't have a ton of crowd control outside of Malphite, so you might be able to dance around the fight without taking many hits. But remember that the faster you get Banner, the faster it starts generating gold, and it gets more value for you over time. So I'm not sure if I would rush it. Like you might be able to do like double Fairy Charm into Banner, or like maybe Forbidden Idol into Banner. And I have discovered that you need some kind of mana regen. You can't just go Banner without any Fairy Charms. You have to at least have a Fairy Charm or two in there, or you'll just run out of mana a lot of times in fights. Another option here is Zeke's, which is interesting. Similar to Banner, it has 60 armor on it. You do have a really low cooldown ult. You do have 2 people that could, in theory, benefit from Zeke's that have some pretty good on-hit effects. Master Yi, Xayah, combos very well with Ardent Sensor because they get faster attack speeds. They can benefit more from that on-hit damage. So Zeke's is actually something that might be pretty good here, specifically because it has an armor component to it, and it does buff one of your allies to do a bit more damage. So you're not really going to need Mikhail's. They don't have a lot of CC. The only thing they have that's going to be significant is Malphite, and you can't cleanse a knock-up. I mean, you can, but they're still going to get knocked up. The only difference would be they could flash after you cleanse it, but that's probably not going to happen at this elo. Like, you know, for example, if you run something like a Mikhail's or a cleanse and someone gets blitz hooked, that counts as, you know, sort of a displacement effect, and they could, in theory, cleanse and then flash out of the blitz hook. Just like, I think you can cleanse and then flash out of a knock-up. But it's not going to happen. So I don't think Mikhail's is going to be that useful here. Locket is okay. I don't suspect there's going to be a lot of team fighting, though. They have a Tryndamere and a Fiora, so I just think they're going to be split pushing side lanes. So Locket is good, but I don't think it's that amazing here. So that kind of leaves us with some of these secondary items that I think will be pretty useful. Rakan is very, very flexible, though, so you just kind of have to play the game by ear, and we'll comment on it and see what you should do in the game. This is kind of what I'm thinking early on, is you go for the armor boots, and then you go for things that help individual targets do a lot of damage for these skirmishes, and that give you armor, and that give you some additional split push pressure. So, and then you want to max your W, E, and then Q, of course. Get 1 point in Q in lane, obviously, early on. Then you want to max that W so you can move around the map faster, you have more CC. Then the E is really good for, you know, increasing your shield, especially once you get some of that extra plus healing and shielding power. That's really going to kick into gear once you finish the Redemption and the Ardent. But, okay, let's go ahead and get in there. Let me turn up the sound here. So I'm going to take some physical notes if this is the first time for anyone watching out there. I'm sure Jenny's watched some of these before. But I take physical notes and I comment as we watch, and then at the very end, I bring all of those notes together and come up with the best like 5 to 10 things that Jenny could work on to help her gain some elo. Rank up a little bit here. All right, let's see. Okay, so up here. Okay, yeah, so as you can see, they have all AD. Their only real CC is going to be Malphite. Zed is also relatively unavoidable damage if he wants to ult on top of you. He's going to do a lot of damage, so that's a place where armor is really good, obviously. And he's going to be lethality. Jin's going to be lethality, so the lethality scales very poorly against armor. Like, critical strike is a little more problematic if someone gets a lot of crit. Armor doesn't always do a ton against that. Obviously, it helps, but it really, really crushes lethality. Mathematically. On like a cost-to-cost basis. Lethality's far more expensive than armor is, I'm pretty sure. Armor's way, way more plentiful on items. Okay. Alright, good. Looks like you have Guardian. I missed what else you had there, but you probably are just running what I typically run on stream, I would imagine. Or something close to it. Guardian's definitely a good call. Okay, Malphite, they're all running down. You gotta run, 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 run. Get out of there. Just ping her back, let her know that y'all need to run. You're getting cheesed. Good job, where are you running? Exhaust. Okay. Good move. Okay, so he took your blue. Okay, so Master Yi's getting his blue, that's fine. I don't mind starting W for a little extra wave clear. Really, there's an argument for any of the abilities. With Xayah, level 1, you have a pretty nasty level 1. If you know, if the Xayah wants to, you can hide in a bush or something potentially and kill somebody at level 1 or at least force their summoners if she gets W first. And you get a cheeky, W off. Okay. Pretty good, yeah. Coin 3. Yeah, he's probably gonna die. Yeah. You don't want to miss a lot of experience here. Now, here's the thing. If you're watching that, like, you know that he's up there, right? Because he just got first blood. So you don't need to ward that right now, since you only have 1 minute wards. And there's not really a threat of him diving you, and you guys are most likely going to be pushed in. So this would be a situation where I would say just hold on to that ward, because it's going to time out before it becomes relevant. So I would just hold it. Because you missed a little bit of experience there, and like I said, there's no way he's going to rotate over here in a minute and try to make a play out of that bush on you. Because you're pushed in, he can't dive you until level 6. There's just no way. I would just hold on to the ward and just, like, maybe use it here eventually. No, don't worry. Don't worry about trading on him right now. I don't think. No, no. Well, I don't know. It's looking bad. Like, if you had a ward there, that would have helped tremendously. But I think that was probably... Yeah, it was a bad idea. Let's go back and see. I mean, the main reason is that I'm pretty sure Xayah was down health. You guys have minions working against you. Yeah, she's at, like, half health. So if you want to do that to put some damage on, you need to ping back. Yeah, y'all took too much damage. See, they're at, like, almost full health. You have summoners, but so do they. And they have Ignite. Yeah. So, I know it's... You know, you want to do something. You know, you don't just want to sit there and farm off. But a farm off's actually okay against Jhin. Xayah's going to scale harder than he does, probably. And if you do want to do that kind of harassment... Run. Oh... If you do want to do that kind of harassment, you need to do it to the Jhin. And then what needs to happen is you just W in, hit him with a Q, and then E back immediately. But overall, I think there's just really no reason to rush that. Okay. Yeah, so I think just be patient here. I would upgrade coin because it's just going to be a farm off, most likely. I really would not recommend fighting them at this point because they're up 50% CS and they have a kill on you, so he's likely going to come back with a serrated Dirk would be my guess. How's Fiddle doing? It's doing alright. Just want to survey. As you're walking back to lane, just go ahead and tab and just sort of take survey of who's doing what. Fiora's winning top. Middle's roughly even. You need to watch his item. As soon as he comes back to lane, you need to see what he has. I suspect it's going to be a Dirk or a BF sword. I'm going with Dirk. It is a BF sword. Okay, so that's even worse. Probably. That means he's actually going to go crit. Most likely, unless he goes something weird like Death's Dance. So, he's going to hit like a truck. You really don't want to fight that. I think technically Blade, the Ghost Blade does more damage, like as a first item build, because it's so much faster than Infinity Edge. It's like 500 gold faster. Where is he? What is he doing? Did he wait in his base? I guess he waited, but he didn't miss that much. Okay. Okay, so he's catching up. It is a bit harder for Jhin to CS under tower sometimes because of his reload mechanic. Alright, so I'm gonna write down okay, there's my pen. I'm just gonna write down just to chill in lane a little bit. It is unfortunate that you got poked out early or ganked really early, and that put the Xayah at like half health. This is kind of a tough lane early-ish. Also, I mean, Jhin does a lot of damage. Xayah doesn't do a ton early on, typically. I mean, if she chains together her feathers, like, she can do some decent burst, but in general, Xayah needs some damage. Like, a couple of items before she starts doing damage. Just remember that as Rakan, you scale really, really well into the late game. So it's kind of like Janna. Like, you don't need to feel compelled to be a hero early. Like, you don't have to make the big play. Okay, be careful. He's gonna... He hurts. He's gonna hit really hard on his forced shots. Oh, Lord. I just noticed she didn't buy anything. She's greeting for that BF sword so hard. Yeah, so you need to watch that. Like, y'all are pretty lucky it worked out the way that it did. That you guys just got really good placement and they had terrible positioning. Because he is up an astronomical amount right now for this stage in the game. So y'all need to be very careful. She doesn't have flash either. Okay, well, you guys are keeping up some in farm. Okay, so that was a fortunate trade, is what we'll call it. She better get a BF sword here, or y'all are in big trouble. They did equalize the CS a little bit, sort of. I mean, she's still going to be down like 20, so not really. She's still down like 50%. Okay, she greeted really hard for that BF sword, but she got it, so they didn't punish you for it. What's going on up here? The Shen's getting obliterated, so you need to keep in mind, just keep that in the back of your head as you're walking down. Fiora's really big and she's going to be a problem. Fiora's very good against tanks. Okay, good ward spot. I approve of that. I would actually go ahead and... Nah, that's the problem, though, of this in solo queue sometimes. Now, when you're rolling up here, what I would actually do is, since this plant is here, since you ward over this, you know the plant's there, I would go ahead and W over, and then go ahead and ward this red. Yeah, because you have Sightstone. So, I would ward this. You see the blast plant's there. W over, ward this, walk over, hit this that way just to scout these camps to see if he's cleared these. And then use the blast plant to get back over and then ward the dragon here. How do you have sight of this? Did you hit... Oh, you hit the plant. Okay. You need to ping her back also and just tell her that you're warding. Like, should she notice? Yes. But at the same time, you gotta tell her. Like, ping back and let her know. So I think you can go for more vision than that. What happened to her anyways? Did Malphite just ulted on her, probably? Out of this bush, is that what happened? Yeah. Then she panicked, ulted, yeah, and just kind of wasted her time. Yeah. So, especially against a Tryndamere, he doesn't have any crowd control. He's not really a threat to kill you early. I think you could get some deeper vision there, and that'll give Master Yi some intel. Because the way the Xayah's playing, like, I would not expect too much out of her. So you really need to get your vision around to help Fiddle and maybe Master Yi make a play. Master Yi does have 4 kills, so that'll also let him know if it's safe to do Dragon. It's like, for instance, if you see that Master Yi's over, or that Tryndamere's over here doing wolves off of this plant, I'm pretty sure it reaches from here over to here. It may be not that far, but either way, the vision does help. Okay, so watch this. You're 5, though. You need to tell them you're 5 if you didn't. Now go for Jhin. Focus Jhin. Okay, that's fine. Good gank. Help her push it in. W the wave, push it in. Zed, you just saw Zed here. Zed's coming. Yeah, tell her to back up, tell her to back up. Okay. Trent's right there, run. So y'all didn't see him. You didn't have a ton of vision here. He came this way, actually, and you can't ward that, because they're going to control that with a control ward, so not a lot you could do about that. But, I mean, you could, in theory, like, so I would say, you know, I said ward here, and ward Dragon, but if you're worried more about Trend ganks, you could ward here, and then ward over this wall right here, and you would see him if he walks that way. You just, when you're on red side and you're losing lane like this, you can't control the tri-ward, but you can ward both sides of it right here. Like, he could still run up the lane at you, but nobody does that. How many times is he going to get away with that? Yeah, you need to ping these out. I mean, because y'all saw him walking in the bush, right? Let me see. I mean, you got a ward there. Yeah, he's right here. It's like literally right here. Like plain view, walks into this corner. I don't know. I mean, there's not a lot you can do about that. You gotta run and just let her die. Like, ping her back, and if she walks up there, just let her die, and just give them this tower. Because they're gonna get it, and it's better that you don't die. So sometimes you just have to let people just do bad things. Like, just tell them that what they're doing is a bad idea. Just ping it. You know, you don't have to be mean about it, but just ping back. Like, ping Malphite's portrait. A lot of times if you ping pictures in the tab in the game, people will better understand what you're talking about. So ping Malphite a couple of times, and then ping question mark this bush. And then ping her back. Try to get a control ward for this dragon. I think this is yours, but get a control ward and tell Yi to get dragon with you. What is he building? I don't know. Jin's probably going to come back with an Infinity Edge, which is really bad news. So I'm just writing down, don't get baited by allies. That's one thing that I have noticed. I've been watching, oh, that was unfortunate. Yeah, y'all should do this. Wait, they're dead. Yeah, ping, 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 ping. Ping that more. No, don't chase. You need to be telling them. You need to be shot calling this and telling them to get this dragon. Like, Yi's on that side of the map. Like, y'all could have easily done that. That's a big dragon. Y'all are going to need that. Like, Tren was dead, Malphite's dead. That was definitely a missed opportunity. So the game is kind of close on the scoreboard, but bot lane, it's a slaughter. Like, you gotta understand. Okay, run. Okay, good. Yeah, of course you gotta work, you know, as you're kind of learning Rakan, you gotta work on the W's a little bit. They are hard to hit. You've missed a few of them, especially with the ult W. You just gotta kind of learn those ranges. Not much to say there, obviously, just keep working on that. But yeah, that's one of the things with Rakan. You got to try to hit those W's. I would have completed this tier 2 gold item. Like, your priority should be tier 2 gold item, Ionian boot, or Ninja Tabi boots this game. Some boots. Boots too. Okay, go in. Go in. Jump to Xayah, then you can jump to Yi. Ping him back, ping him back. Not under tower. Oh, Malphite screwed that up. Shield him. Shield him. Okay, good. Wow. Yeah, Malphite completely screwed that up. If he ulted that Yi after the Yi finishes Alpha Strike, he would have had him. He totally wasted that ult. This is why, Master Yi. I've had a couple of people in the comments to my one trick saying, oh, Master Yi, he sucks. You can just crowd control him and you beat him. It's like, yeah, but you can say that about anybody. You crowd control him, you beat him. A lot of the time, right? But like, Master Yi, this is why. I mean, he just runs away with games single-handedly. More so than almost any other champion. He's so good. People can say, yeah, you know, he's not, you don't see him in Challenger, you don't see him in pro games. True. But you know what? This isn't a Challenger game. This is not a pro game. Oh, y'all got it, though. Okay, nice. Well, both of them missed their smite, so I guess there's that. Ping her back. Wait, where were you in that fight? Let me go back and rewatch you. I was watching the dragon talking about the Power of Yi. You got exhaust. Okay, let's see. Exhaust him. Go ahead and exhaust him. You did? I guess you exhausted him like right before you died. You need to exhaust him immediately. Like once he rolls in like that, it needs to be exhaust. Yeah, he did it like right when he died. Then you need to jump back to Xayah. So he actually left the pit to go chase kills. Yeah, so let me just run this one more time. So he goes in. Okay. See what he does. As soon as he hits you once, it should be exhaust. Okay, exhaust. Knock up, exhaust. He crit you there, I think. And you need to just go ahead and E back to Xayah. You're not going to do enough damage to him because you know he's going to ult anyways. So, I like the W knock-up, but then I would just E back to Xayah, throw a Q on him to get the heal, kite him back, wait on his ult. Once he runs at you again, and he's almost out of ult, then you charm and go back in. Because right there, you layered your CC on it, or you didn't layer it. It just, like your charm got overridden by, or your knock-up got overridden by your charm. You didn't chain them together fully. So yeah, so just understand that Tren's going to ult. Y'all are not going to burst him down, so there's no reason to use both of your CC right there on him specifically. Just use one. I like using one, then exhausting, kite back to the Xayah, E back to her, kite him back, wait on his ult to run out, and then after his ult's about to run out, then go in and charm him. I think it lasts 3 seconds? Might be 5 seconds. Either way, save one piece of your CC, probably your charm, until after he is gone. So yeah, so against a lot of champions, sure, I like the idea of just sticking it in there and just auto-attacking to kill him. But with Tren, you know he's going to get whatever the number is, 3 to 5 extra seconds of time to beat you down, and you don't have any armor right now. So, yeah, you need those Ninja Tabi boots. And you're going for Ardent first, which... I want to see a piece of armor first before you get the Ardent. Remember that Ardent's not nearly as good now as it used to be. Yeah, and you need to upgrade this too. This ancient coin is so much extra gold. It's a lot of extra gold. It's like, I don't remember what the number is exactly. It's a lot. It's like 60% more gold. Something like that. It's like something like 50 to 60% more gold when you upgrade to the tier 2. And it gives you 5% more CDR, which is a pretty good bargain. And it heals you more and it's just really good. And you get your quest line so that people get that extra movement speed. You need to upgrade that to tier 2 like pretty quickly. E back to her. Kite. Help her out. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, good. She rushed rapid fire. That's rough. Yeah, you still want to play around the Yi. You did a good job playing around Yi, but I would... In that instance where it's just one-on-one, I think you can kite back and help Tren. Okay, good. You did back. She needs to leave. Alright, what you got? Ardent. I mean, Ardent is good on Master Yi. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's tough to say. I would still like to see the tier 2 gold item and Ninja Tabi before Ardent, but that does help him. I mean, he is really fed. He is really fed, so... I think maybe a compromise there would be... go for like a Zeke's or something. Because then at least that would give you the armor. I don't know. I mean, Ardent's obviously really good. I'm just concerned that you're going to get blown up in these fights. Yeah, come over here. Help Fiddle. No, don't go into that. Just ward that. Ward this. You always want to ward these alleyways near the river. Oh gosh. Okay. Man, it looks really rough. What happened? Did Yi Alpha Strike the Malphite or something? The Malphite ult? Let me slow this down. That looked really bad because Malphite's going to engage and like knock up 3 of you. You could E onto Xayah and then R onto them if you want to start that, but... No, he got knocked up. He just alpha struck and got to the back line, I think. He's such a huge level. I would have exhausted somebody in there. I don't know who it is, but somebody. That would be a great spot for redemption, too, if you dropped a redemption right in the middle of that. Obviously, it worked out, you know, with Ardent, but that's kind of a... It's not a full counter to the Malphite engage, but it's close. You heal up a lot of the damage that he does. As you can see, Yi already kind of does enough damage. Yeah, and you did get vaporized there. I think you got to go Ninja Tabi here. I do like Ionian, but I feel like it's just too greedy against a 4 AD comp. It's just so juicy to have those Ninja Tabi. It just has such high benefit for the cost. So yeah, you know, 9 times out of 10, I do like the Ionians, but against 4 AD, especially a Zed. Bottom, 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 ping bottom, ping bottom. Y'all got Baron. No, get him off. No, no red buff, Yi. Baron. Right here, right here. You gotta shot call more. You can't let them just run around in Fiesta and waste Baron like this. Try to save your shield, like shield once and then wait like a second and then shield again, because if you shield twice right in a row, then the second shield overrides the first shield. So yeah, that's a wasted Baron. They're probably going to wave clear those. Like after y'all killed 2 right here, you needed to immediately go bottom. You had a big wave crashing in. Okay, you might at least get 1 tower out of it. Yeah, come down here and help her. Now, push this in and go rotate bottom. Go bottom, go bottom, go bottom. Go bottom, ping it. Tell her. No. Because now they can all go top, potentially, and engage on you. If they want to. I don't know. They might be late. It looks like they're just goofing around mid lane. They're trying to, like, counter push mid or something. And you don't have any armor, so if Zed goes on you, it's a problem. Ping this. Tell Yi to help hold this. Or at least look scary. They're all coming up here. You guys gotta leave. You guys gotta leave. It's gonna be 3v5. They're gonna Zerg squad you here. There's no other pressure anywhere on the map. Tell Yi to go bottom. Yeah, Yi's just like running around, just like doing laps. Like watch Yi's pathing here. I mean, I'm not gonna like, this is obviously your coaching session, but for people out there, this is why I say you have to shot call. Because people, you gotta keep in mind that a lot of times players, especially, like I said, I don't know which elo this is, but frankly, it's a lot of elos. There's even probably Diamond and Master people that do this. They'll just like, they'll have on their music, they're just kind of chilling, you know, just listening. Maybe they're texting their friend, maybe they're talking to their roommate, or their girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, and they're just not focusing up on the game, and they're just on autopilot. That's the worst thing in ranked, it's just autopilot, and they're just not thinking about what they're doing. So I just want to watch this Yi's pathing. Just like, watch how little he does while everybody's top lane. Like, I'm pretty sure, I was watching him out of the corner of my eye while I was watching this. He goes all the way through here, all the way down to here, all the way over here, clears one wave, and then starts running up here. So he almost literally does a loop around the whole map without touching anything important. So I'm just going to speed this up, and let's just watch this. Okay, gets blue. Okay. So while y'all were over here, like if he would have just run straight through here and just got to the dragon, or to the tower, maybe that's worth. But that's why I was telling you guys that you had to back up there, because there was no more pressure on the map at that point. So this is why it's so crucial to shot call, is to stop people from being on autopilot. And that's not anything mean about it. You don't have to, you know, call people out or anything. You just have to tell them what to... Because here's the thing, a lot of people recognize the correct play. Now, some people will still make mistakes, but if you make suggestions to them, they will recognize, oh, hey, that's probably a good idea. You know, they just didn't think of it on their own. So a lot of people will recognize the correct call if you make it. A lot of people, even if it's incorrect, they'll just follow it. If you just tell them to do something, they'll just do it. Most people, you know, will just do what you tell them to do. A lot of the time, if you're, you know, nice about it. But especially if it makes sense, if you're consistently making good calls, then they'll do it. You need to get her out of here. You need to be pinging her back. Okay, so I'm going to write down... saying stop allies from autopiloting. Okay. Sadie, what are you doing? Just like running around. Yeah, he's just chasing kills. He's probably gonna run into it. I mean, he might be able, he can beat like 3 people. This is also kind of a danger of a Master Yi type of champion. It's a double-edged sword. Like, he's so good, he is a champion that can 1v5 once he gets really fed, but it also baits people into trying to 1v5. Similar to like a Yasuo or a Riven type of champion. So he's like flashing in here, trying to get the kill on this Zed. Okay, yeah, y'all can get it now. What do you have? Armor. Okay, so you did get a piece of armor. You got the ruby. Oh, man, you really need a redemption right there. Y'all are going to clean it up, though, I think. Yeah, they just don't have enough power. Many are dead, so 2 are dead. Y'all don't have a wave, though. Yee's probably suiciding. Yeah, okay, y'all gotta go. Gotta go. Leave, leave. Get out, get out. Yee's dead. Yee has all of your gold. Well, okay, I guess. I mean, if they're gonna do that, I thought she was gonna wait on backup. But one thing to be wary of here is if somebody has like 16 kills on your team, if they die, that's all of your team's gold. So you just have to run. This Fiddlesticks is coming in clutch with these fears, because no one on their team has a Quicksilver Sash. Yeah, just run. Just run. That's fine. You got 1 minute on Baron. What kind of dragon is that? It's a Mountain Drake. Sadie, sit down. She has this thing, ever since I moved in this new room, she loves to just walk up on top of this, like right in front of where the computer is, and then try to sit in my lap. Which is fine, but then she wants to, like, squirm around and then jump down after a couple of minutes because I'm talking. She likes to sit in my lap when I'm just sitting here, you know, like, time-stamping videos or sleeping or something, but if I'm talking, she gets impatient. Okay. What'd you get for an... Okay, so getting Banner. It's pretty good. I still would have completed this gold item a long time ago. Yeah, kill this guy and then go get bot tower if you can. I don't guess you're going to be able to get him. Go up and bait Baron. You get pretty good vision up there. No, no, Yi. You need to ping him back. No, y'all need to leave. Get out. Get out. He's dead. Alright. Zaya's online. Had a rough early game. Started with rapid fire, which is questionable, but she did eventually get the correct items. Sort of. I think Essence Reaver is a little more standard on her than the Infinity Edge, but she does do a lot of damage now with a lot of items, so... She's becoming a nice plan B or plan A, depending on one of the big problems with this Master Yi is his build. He doesn't have any lifesteal. So he can't do, like, very high sustained fights. He either has to burst him or he's gonna die. He's, like, super squishy. Okay. Zed's still down. Yeah, Zed's down. Y'all should be able to get this. No, no, no. Get out. Just leave him. Leave him. Just run. No, no, leave him. There's no way I'll win that. You just gotta, if people do silly things, just let them do silly things. Just leave. That's one thing I have noticed when I've been watching some Camille videos from, like, Koreans like Khan and Untara and stuff like that. They leave people all the time. If anyone's doing something stupid, they're out of there. Like, they almost never get caught up in bad plays. It does happen from time to time, but I see them walk away from so many plays. Okay. I do like the banner. I think y'all can win 5v5, but I think he's not going to 5v5, so. Alright, where'd you put banner? Did you put it here? Did you put it anywhere? Okay, you gotta put it somewhere. Just run and put it in the middle lane or something right now. Put it somewhere. No, I would not fight this. You guys need Yi way more than they need Jhin. Let's go push the middle wave up. You've got it warded, it's fine. Let's go push up this wave. Yeah, just come over here and push this with her. And then just, like, upgrade the minion here. I don't know if you're... Okay, maybe you're lagging or something there. Talking with a friend or something. But yeah, you need to use banner somewhere. Somewhere where where Trendamir is not. So I would use it mid lane. Jin's bottom. Y'all can force this if he gets over here. Yeah, get control of this. Drop a ward here. Drop a pink here. Jin's right here. I would ping that. Question mark him. Okay, right here, right here. Get this, get this. Ping Shin's teleport. Ping his teleport and then ping this tower. Let him know he needs to teleport to that tower to save it. Watch out for the Malphite ult. Okay. Y'all need to tell Shin to go down there. I guess that worked out. But I feel like what's going to happen... Okay, finally he's going. Like, he could have done that at the tier 2. So here's the thing. He can always ult back to this fight. Like, after he gets Jhin to back up, Jhin will have to run away from him. Then he could just always ult back to that fight. And I don't think he did anything really meaningful in that fight anyway, so... Y'all basically gave up a tier 2. And obviously you don't control the teleport, but if you ping his teleport and tell him to go over there, he's likely to just to do it. So shot calling is a big part of this. Because if you're kind of just doing what everyone else is doing, you're not really going to level up that quickly. You're going to have to do it strictly on mechanics, and that's a very slow process. A lot of the time, you have to do it with superior game knowledge and getting your team to make the right decisions. Be careful. Okay. Or he just doesn't ult. Did he just not have his ult? No, he just didn't use it. Okay. I assume he can probably, like, potentially 3 or 4 shot Xayah. She has no defense. Alright, good. Keep in mind, this game's not... It's not sealed up yet, though. Alright, you need to be using banners somewhere, though. I haven't seen you banner... Yeah, you did banner somewhere. I just missed it. Did you do it when it was, like, sieging here or here? That would have been a good call. I must just not have been paying attention. Okay, yeah. Working bottom. Did you have if you had wards when you were walking through here, you should have warded this because you know this is the next place where you guys want to go. Just go ahead and ward like here and here. Unless you were out of wards or they swept it, that you should have at least tried to ward there. Just on that note really quickly, if you're afraid they're going to sweep, you can put wards in kind of weird spots. So if you're going to like come down here, a good place to ward is like right here. Because if they sweep, they'll almost always sweep the bushes. They'll sweep here, they'll pink these. So that does give you some vision. And another good place, so you put it here and then put it like here. And those will give you good vision of this area. And they're the least likely to get swept or pinked. Because if they pink right here, I don't believe it'll see here. It's very close, depending on where they put their pink. And if they pink here, it probably won't see it either. So this is a really good place to put wards. It's like here and here, if you think they're going to go through and sweep. If they're walking through with the sweeper, you know, they'll probably see them no matter where you put them. But these are the two least likely places to get swept. Another good place is like maybe here or like here. Maybe like here. So you just have to kind of get creative when you're trying to keep wards up if they're sweeping a lot. Just put it in places where pinks are less likely to see and where sweeps are less likely to hit. Okay. You have item-wise here. Talisman. Not bad, not bad. Okay, y'all got it. Alright, good. Okay, so overall, pretty strong. Pretty good job, pretty good job. I mean, a mechanical thing that you definitely want to work on just as you do more and more Rakan is just try to hit more of those Ws. A good place to, or a good way to think about that is to, you want to lead a little bit with it. So lead like almost on top of them, but just like a little bit behind them usually. And then you'll hit them, so just like a smidge behind them. With the W, will often hit them and just kind of learn the range a little bit. Yeah, and then like a typical combo would be you would ult W in, hit the key target, hit them with a Q while they're in the air, and then you E back to Xayah, and then just sort of reset from there. Or E to Master Yi, and then E back to Xayah, so you spread out that Ardent Sensor buff. So that's kind of the combo that you want to do. Don't forget that you can turn on your R also and then shield around to different people. So let's say that you try to use your W to engage but you miss it. You can still turn on your R, and then as you pass over people with your E, it'll still charm them. So that's another way that you can spread that charm around a little bit quicker than just trying to run around. So that's just something mechanically to work on, is to just try to hit those Ws a little bit more. Okay. So other major stuff here. Okay, so you want to be patient early if you're in a losing lane. So Tryndamere came down and took a lot of the health off of Xayah early on. Jhin does a lot more damage than Xayah early in the game, unless she's chaining and getting a lot of feather stuns in, or roots in, rather. So just be careful with that. You know, so specifically what I'm talking about is when you try to W in on the Malphite, and then you guys try to all in after that. I don't really like the WN on Malphite, but you know, if you kind of think you just want to trade a little bit of damage or you're trying to bait something, I guess that's fine if you're trying to get him to flash or something maybe. But as soon as you E back out and they took you down to like 20% health and Xayah was at 50% health, that's it. You're done. Like, you got to stop the fight there. There's no way you're going to win. Because, you know, it looked like it was kind of close, right? But you got to remember they had summoners too, right? They had flash, they had heal. You did have exhaust, but they had ignite. So I just don't think there's any way that you guys win that. So be very careful starting those fights. But if you goof up, if you make a decision that maybe you shouldn't early, which we all have been there, then just accept the consequences and just say, oops, you know, that was a really bad trade. I'm going to have to sit here and just, like, not do anything for a while. And that's what should have happened bot lane, you know, especially after you try to go in on that Malphite and you miss it. You should have just chilled and just waited to heal up a little bit off of your Qs and your coins and stuff like that. So it sucks that Trendemir came bottom in level 2 like that and got you really low, but that's just the reality of the situation. So you just kind of have to chill. And just keep in mind that Xayah does outscale Jhin. Most Jhin players really don't do that well with him late game. He can get some really big crits, but by and large, it's not nearly as effective as other champions are, especially Xayah late game. Like, once Xayah gets 4 items, she just is so much more relevant in most team fights than Jhin is. So, you know, and you outscale the Malphite. Malphite's basically just an R bot later. Like, he presses R and that's it. Late game. And you have so much more utility than he does. Like, you can press R, W, and do other stuff too, you know. So just be patient. Just understand you're going to outscale him. It's fine. You just kind of have to go into Janna mode at that point. Because Rakan can be played kind of like a Janna in terms of like a scaling shielder that runs enchanter items. He does, of course, have his ult. So you can be aggressive early, but you can also sort of change your game plan and be a little bit more chill, which is what I would recommend in that lane, especially when you're really far behind, like you were. And just, like, tab and just look at the items, too. Especially when Xayah, like, came back and she didn't buy anything and she just had a Doran's Blade and Jhin had a BF sword. They should have slaughtered you in that fight. I don't remember what they did wrong there. But you should have lost that fight really hard. So I think it was kind of lucky in a sense. You did play, you know, well, bot lane for the most part, right? But at the same time, you got to look at those items and just say, you know what, there's no way we should fight this because he has a BF sword and Xayah has nothing. She has like a Doran's Blade. So that was really fortunate that they didn't punish you very hard for that. So just make sure that you're tabbing and looking, even if it feels like you're doing all right in lane, even if it isn't like as obvious as like, oh, Xayah's at 50% health or I'm at 50% health. Just always tab and see like, wow, you know, maybe your AD carry just really can't last hit and they're down 20 CS. And then the enemy AD carry, even though you haven't taken that much damage in lane, then the enemy AD carry comes back with a much bigger item. You know, you've got to say, hey, we might not be able to fight this. So, Xayah did come back, and she was relevant later in the game. But, you know, just keep that in mind where you should be tabbing, looking, and just trying to see if you should engage or not. Especially as an engaged champion like an Alistar or a Rakan, you need to make sure that you're picking winning fights. You do not want to engage if they're going to beat you in the fight. So, okay. And that was actually my next point that I said here is watch items on tab. So I would have tried to get some deeper wards for the Master Yi early. I think a big one also would be to come back with a control ward and get that E to do dragon. So if you had really good wards around the red side, their red side jungle, and then you dropped a control ward on the dragon, I think that you could have pressured and taken that dragon. Definitely after you got 2 kills. You killed the jungler and I think the Malphite, and everyone was kind of near the river, and you could have easily done it. Like, Yi was low after that fight. He had like 200 or 300 health. But their jungler was dead, and you could have just tanked it yourself. And that was an Infernal Dragon, so you could have forced a 3v5 at the Infernal. And you had a Shen top lane who could have TP'd down, or ulted down, rather, and then TP'd back. So, so that fits into the next thing is... So there were several times where you could have gotten key objectives. The Dragon was the first major one that you could have gotten earlier, the Infernal. There's another time after you had a really good fight. Pretty sure it was when you had Baron. Like, you had Baron, and then you got another good fight around the Dragon Pit, I believe. You killed one or two of them. Then Master Yi chose to run in and try to do red buff. And I think there were a couple of people top lane or something, what I'm remembering, and I think you rotated all the way up to top when you could have just gone bottom and got the tier 2 bottom. And then if they send everybody top lane, then you would have been able to keep pushing bottom. So you don't want them to group up and Zerg you, like, and just 5v3 you, like what happened top lane. You need to keep them split up. So, I think that going bottom would have been a much better call, and then you could keep pressuring bottom. With Baron, you can even pressure bottom by yourself, right? Because you're going to have the Baron-empowered minions, and then if they come at you, you can just get away, you know, just jump over walls with your W, and if you have to, you can ult them and run away. You know, so I think that rotating top like that was probably a mistake. Usually you want to group up with your team, but in that circumstance, the fact that three of you were grouped, one of you is dead, and then Master Yi was running around doing random things for about a minute, they were able to engage and 3v5 you. Like, after you get that first tower top, y'all have to run too, because you can see they're all off the map. Where are they going to go? The only place that has pressure, which is top lane. So you just kind of got to read that they're coming up there, and you got to run. So I think the best option was to go bot lane, get that tier 2 tower, or at least pressure it, force one or two people to come to you. If you do go top lane, though, like you did, if you want to do that instead, then you have to leave after the tier 1. Okay, another big one that I've talked about a couple of times is okay, do not get baited by allies. I know that happens to me. It happens to every support, right? We just, like, we want to get out. We know we shouldn't be fighting this, but then they get caught up in a fight, and you're like, well, I guess I got to try to help them. You know, like the Shin in the jungle is a perfect example. We all saw 3 people there. It's just like you and Shin against 3 people, and a 4th one's probably on the way. There's no way y'all can win that. So just keep running. If he turns around and taunts, just leave. You know, he might be mad in the chat or something. Just say, sorry, bro. There's just no way we're winning that. Or whatever the equivalent is in Greek. But yeah, there's just no way you're winning that. And just tell him, like, you know, sorry, there's just no way we could win. You know, just whatever. Be apologetic. You know, if they're just like, oh, you're a pansy, we could have had it. You say, my bad. You know, whatever you have to do. Just, you know, try to diffuse the situation. He's going to be mad because he made a mistake and he's not going to realize it. He's not going to want to admit it. But just tell him, you know, my bad, sorry, whatever. And then do whatever you have to do to get him to calm down, but do not die. Do not go into that. And there were a couple of times with Xayah where you got baited into doing some bad fights too. And so just keep that in mind. That's one thing, like I said, that I'm watching a lot of high-elo players that I've noticed is they're running out of fights. They're running out of fights even I wouldn't think to run out of. And then I go back and think about it. I'll pause it and look and see, why did Khan run out of that fight? And I'll be like, oh, because the enemy Shin had ultimate, and he knew he was going to ult into the fight. And then, you know, after he started running, then of course the Shin ults in and kills the rest of his team. Or like he knew there was going to be a TP behind him. Or even just he knew they were probably going to lose it. So that's one thing to definitely take away is do not get baited by allies. If they're doing a fight that's bad, don't do it. And that is in conjunction with watching tab. So understanding which fights you can win, which fights you can't, and just err on the side of, you know, not dying. Shot call faster. Okay, here's a big one. Okay. You have to stop people from autopiloting. This Yi was just running in, trying to 1v5 for funsies. You know, and there were several other people. They're just kind of running around doing random stuff. You need to get them to close out the game. You don't have to be the fun police necessarily, but you have to ping stuff and say, hey, come here, do this. Hey, come here, do that. Help. You know, you got to find some way to get them to stop suiciding. I did like the banner buy. As I said before, you can create map pressure. You needed some armor. I would say get some armor items sooner. You know, definitely Ninja Tabi against that specific team. And I think Zeke's would have been okay. Ardent is a good buy, but it makes you very squishy. Makes you very squishy. So it is nice with Yi, but Yi was already doing enough damage, you know? So I feel like getting the armor and the mana from Zeke's. Also, Redemption would have been really nice as kind of a counter to the Malphite engage. So Redemption could have been good there as well, but I think getting Ninja Tabi and then either Banner or Zeke's early for some extra armor, some extra protection. If you really want Talisman, you can do Talisman too. I would definitely upgrade the gold item. I mean, it goes from 25 gold to 40 gold. So, it is. It's 60%. That's what I said. I guesstimated in the game, and that's exactly what it is. It's 60% more gold. So, you need to upgrade that really soon. It gives you CDR. It gives you 60% more gold off your coins. It gives you the quest reward. It gives you a lot of stuff. So just upgrade that tier 2 gold item. And I don't think the Talisman is really that bad here. So I don't mind you getting Talisman because it is kind of a fiesta. People running around. It is an armor item, so it does give you armor. So I think Talisman's actually pretty good there. But if you're going to get it, I would get it sooner rather than later. And I would definitely upgrade the tier 2 gold item. So, you know, you maybe could have done something like Ninja Tabi, tier 2 gold item, Redemption, Finish Talisman, Ruby Sightstone, something like that. And then you would have 2 actives. You'd have your Talisman, you'd have your Redemption, you'd have the health, and the armor. So I think that would have been potentially a pretty good buy path, and then you could have gone Banner after that. But yeah, something with armor in it. Something. Sooner. Either Ninja Tabi plus either Talisman, Zeke's, or Banner. Just something that gives you that armor so that you can survive some more of these fights. Because you did die, I don't remember how many times, but like 5 or 6 times. You need to really try to keep your deaths to 3 or less. And against all AD, that's just... It's so powerful to have armor in those situations, especially against lethality users. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. So just work on the itemization a little bit. That was a weird game. So they had 4 AD in a normal game. Sure, I think you know, getting some of that stuff earlier is better. Ardent Sensor is iffy. It does give Yi some extra damage, but he already has a ton of damage to begin with. I think Redemption, especially for that kind of fiesta where everyone's just running around, might be more helpful. But Ardent is okay. It's just that your own 80 carry was so far behind when you rushed it at the beginning. I just feel like getting a Redemption and having some more semi-global pressure could have been better. But either way, you know, definitely get the armor items faster there. Be patient if you're losing lane. Don't force it. Watch the items on tab. Try to play around your strength, which was Master Yi. Get him to go do dragons. Go run around with him so that if he wants to, you know, 1v3, at least it's a 2v3 if you're there. If you can crowd control him, you know, he might be able to clean everybody up in some of those really goofy fights. Because he did do a lot of damage. His problem was he was just getting crowd controlled himself and dying. So, you know, that's something to think about. Shot calling, get your team to focus on the objectives. Don't let them autopilot. Make sure you're getting the dragons in the towers instead of chasing kills. Don't get baited by your allies if they're doing something stupid. Just let them do it. Let them die. Apologize if you have to later if they call you a pansy or something. Whatever, just don't die. You can calm them down later, but if you die and they get a Baron or a Dragon or a couple of towers, you know, I think that's a lot harder to deal with than calming an ally down. I mean, it depends on the ally, I guess, but... and then finally, just upgrade your Tier 2 gold item a little bit sooner. Otherwise, good job. I thought that was great. I thought you made some good, solid plays. I think overall the itemization was pretty good. I think the biggest thing, if there's one thing that you do, is just shot call more. Pay attention to the tab, shot call more. I really didn't see you pinging that much, and it looked like your team just didn't have a lot of direction. They're just running around chasing kills, and they just happened to snowball a lot harder than the enemy team. So I think that's the biggest thing. Just use your knowledge, help your allies make better decisions, and I think that'll get you a lot of elo pretty quickly. So that's going to be it. Thank you very much. As always, I really appreciate the generous donation. For anyone out there watching, if you would like to get a coaching session yourself, it's just $20. Just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com if you'd like to set that up. Usually I can get to those within just a few days, depending on my workload, how many I have stacked up. If you'd like to become a member, that's a system that I just came up with, I guess about half a year ago. It's been a lot of fun. It's just $5 a month, so it's less than a quarter a day. You can come out on Tuesdays, play normal games with a bunch of the members of the channel and me. We just go through, have fun, play some different champions. Every Tuesday, it's a good time. You get a discount on coaching sessions. Right now, it's 10% off, so it'd just be $18 instead of $20. I might restructure the coaching sometime soon within the next week or so to make it $25 for a normal session. Then if you're a member, make it $20 with some other perks and benefits. But as of right now, it's this is sort of how it works. And then, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and you can vote on champion on the straw poll, which I'm going to start doing again as well. So if you want to see your favorite champion that I don't play very often, you can vote every week for Viewers Night, and I'll take the top voted champion or two and try to make sure that I play him on Viewers Night. If you want to watch more coaching sessions, there's a playlist here. If you want to become a member, I have a link for you right here. You just go down to the bottom, just run through the PayPal recurring payment system. If you're interested in that, so there's no sign-up fee, there's no cancellation. If down the line you need that extra $5 a month, you can always cancel later. So, and whenever you pay for the month, it starts whenever you start it, then you're covered for the whole month. So if you pay for a month, and then, you know, a month and a half down the line, you paid for 2 months, but you need to cancel for some reason, then you would still get that full 2 months value. You could still come to the members' nights and all that stuff. For the rest of the time. So I think it's a cool system. If you want to support the channel, it's out there. But that's going to be it. Thanks again, Jenny. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see everybody next time. Have a good day.